We're so excited to have both of you guys here. We've wanted to interview you for a while.
We're single and struggling together, baby. Men are born hunter-gatherers. And if you're just the gazelle that walks into his mouth, he's not gonna want it because he didn't have to work for it. He didn't have to try for it. There's no effort that he had to put in.
Both of your parents, you could sit back and sort of relax a little bit, and you don't.
Growing up, I never felt like I needed to be in the crowd because I was so fulfilled otherwise.
The art of chasing does not exist anymore.
What is it like when your dad doesn't like the boyfriend? I feel bad for the boyfriend. Woo!
My dad grabbed his hand, pulled him in and said, next time, shake my hand like a man.
Oh, jeez.
I was bullied so bad to the point where the school was like, I actually want to suspend these kids, but the parents are too high of donors, so we think you should leave.
The women are not going to like this. They're going to on me all over the internet.
Pamela Anderson says you say to the guy, I would never marry you.
They also are very intimidated by the lore of a Stallone.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have both of you guys here. We've wanted to interview you for a while.
Yeah, well, same. I cannot believe we're actually sitting here because we go back a little bit.
Yes.
But you guys were just the podcast that was our mecca, our God. Like we looked up to you guys when we were starting our show. So it's really crazy to be
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
a
nice.
circle.
couch.
How long ago did you guys start your show?
Oh God, 4 years ago?
2020?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really during COVID. We had this idea. I had this idea. I wanted to interview authors and all these very serious people.
Boring.
And then so she came in and it kept saying boring until the point where locking down with her was the only other option, was to have her on the show. And
Well,
so
Sophia, you need me.
we do need each other.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
come on.
She definitely
Balance.
balances me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more of the serious older sister and she gives off like the young fun vibe.
How
So-
many years difference?
28 and 26, so 2 years.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
thing that strikes me as so interesting about both you guys is you seem like really hard workers who are willing to
Thanks.
put in the reps. And I feel like you guys almost, both of your parents, you could sit back and sort of relax a little bit and you don't. Is that instilled in you from a young age from both of your parents to be so disciplined?
Absolutely. We definitely have a lot to prove, I think, with the name that we were born into.
Yeah.
And Sophia and I always say we were so lucky, and we are so lucky to be given this beautiful, amazing life, and parents that are such hard workers and put so much into raising us that it would be such a waste if we didn't do something at least to make them proud and show them
So we
that
feel
work
kind of in
hard.
debt to like make sure that they know
Yeah.
that what they've done is actually paying off, like all of our education, all of the time spent with us, and also having two parents. My mom is also 1 of 7, didn't grow up with a dad. She had nothing and made a huge skincare company when she was 26. Like made $1 billion in sales. So we've
Wow.
had two very ambitious, hardworking from the ground up parents. And I think that was also very different in comparison to a lot of kids. I think that were kind of raised sometimes with money, where our parents are like, you have to understand, you have to earn it. You can't say your no pleases and thank yous. You have to be courteous. So we're very much heady in terms of when it comes to career. We're very, very, very
a lot
passionate
of proving
about it.
people
Yeah.
wrong.
I think if my daughter Zaza grew up like you guys, and I told you this at dinner too, I would be so happy. So I'm really interested in
That's really nice.
the things that your parents did to make you guys like this. Like when you look back when you're really young, besides like manners and the obvious things, what are things that you look back on and you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy my parents did this?
Oh my God. I think it's really important to have a good balance.
Yeah.
My dad was super funny, super goofy. He kind of felt like another sibling a lot of the time. Like he wasn't very strict on homework or school or anything like that. The only thing he was very strict on was boyfriends and curfew. My mom was the military leader in the household. She was making sure every single night for the last 20 years, 5:30 dinner, homework. I mean, it was a lot to try to keep us well-rounded with like the sports and this and that. But looking back on my childhood, it was very fun.
But I will say it was a lot of routine. I would say the biggest thing that they did for us was, my parents are in the industry. And I think a lot of young kids, when they have parents that are in the industry, they end up going into it very early. They kept us pretty much under wraps until we were 18 or even going to college. Like I didn't really start this until I graduated. And I think having dinner every single night together at 5 o'clock, being super open and vulnerable about everything. Like we talk to our dads about boys, especially we talk to our mom about boys. And I think having that very big transparency with each other and honesty and keeping tabs has been the biggest help for us, honestly.
What was the routine? Like, okay, what do you mean?
There's two routines.
Yeah, what's the
right?
routine?
There's a
Give us
Sly
the
routine,
Sly routine,
and a Jennifer routine.
I want to hear each routine.
Sly's is, I don't even know if there's a word to describe how unusual
Oh, I'm sure
it was. We'll get into diet after, but I'm not kidding when I say this. We would wake up before school. He'd probably wake us up around 6 a.m., maybe like 5:45 in the morning. And we're like in second, third, fourth
Did he
grade.
ever wake you up to the Rocky soundtrack?
No, but he would come in our room and do the loudest rooster noise on the top of his lungs. Like,
yeah,
scream. Like, it was awful. And then he would make us do clean and jerks with like a bar.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, we would do.
I'm being some inspiration here. I'm going to start crowing like a rooster and making Lauren do some clean and jerks.
We had a 6-pack when we were in 3rd grade.
We did what? Clean and jerks. We would have to throw a shot put.
Yeah, 12 push-ups, 12 sit-ups, eggs with, what was it, ketchup?
Ketchup, disgusting.
We had to do a pool table a little bit,
and
run
then
outside.
When we got
this
home,
is all before school, I swear to God,
and then when we got
years.
home from school, we had to read for an hour into a tape recorder every single day, and we tried to hack the system, and we got caught, so he does listen.
Why tape recorder? So that you could prove to him that
he really wanted us to enunciate, because he was born with a slur, so he wanted us to really use our voice. And we would have to recite like Edgar Allan Poe in 5th grade. Like, it was so ridiculous. But yeah, I think those are kind of cool flexes to have now.
Yeah, I think it was after the fact. Now getting older, I respect it a lot because it's made me a very disciplined person. But it was at the time we hated it. But I think a lot of the things we do well today are because they really told us, okay, we have to read out loud. Now we are very chatty. We can come back and be sharp-witted. We are super active.
It's funny because my dad, you would not expect him to like love having daughters, but he loves being a total girl dad. And, you know, him just wanting us to be professional shot putters is, I feel like, such a male random thing
I could see him loving having daughters. I mean, listen, we were joking when we went to dinner about, you know, guys and dating you and what they, I imagine, I mean, your dad is one of the poster people for masculinity.
Totally.
Like, it might be nice to have some feminine energy. I mean, he's Rambo.
Yeah, but super masculine men are so confident and so comfortable with themselves like him that I feel like it makes sense to me that he loves having daughters. Yeah. And I have to say something. My mouth tape is stuck to the bottom of your shoe. So can you please unstick?
It's ridiculous.
I mouth tape every night.
These things around the
It's the best thing in the world. It's changed everything.
I know it's the best.
That's really funny.
But I think that because he is so masculine, there's probably a confidence that comes along with that. The daughter thing makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I also think him being an artist makes him emotionally available for, you know, speaking with his daughters about deeper things. You know, he is a macho man on screen, but to be on screen, you have to be a bit artistic. And I think that was another really fun side of him, was having this very macho father, but who would make us do sit-ups and push-ups. But then he was very artistic, where he would teach us about Edgar Allan Poe. We would sit every Sunday night watching films from back in the day, and he would dissect it from directing to producing to editing to music. And it really made us like love this industry. And that's why people are like, why do you want to follow?
He always says the best thing about having daughters is they don't shut up. Because, you know, when a boy gets to a certain age, how was school? Fine. Was it fun? It was okay. He's like, daughters, they'll just talk to you about, oh my God, I chipped my nail. And then Becky told me, and he loves it.
He loves the drama.
It. Yeah.
Oh, he likes the juice.
Oh, he loves it. He calls us about dates.
He wants to stay home with a book and be left alone, but this guy loves the juice.
I like to know what's going on.
Exactly.
Why not?
You guys have a similarity. What's the Jennifer routine?
Oh my God. My mom, honestly, we always say, like, if I could be half the mother that she was to us, I would be so happy. I don't know how she had that many hours in the day to do everything. She was always carpool, drop off, pickup, room mom, always showed up. I mean, we'd have volleyball practice from school like 4 to 6, and then we'd go to another club 8 to 10, and she was always there.
And she was out of town every month shooting her HSN for her her skincare line. She would drive us to school every day. She was room mom. She was so involved to the point where I don't even think there was a moment growing up where she wasn't there.
And how did she travel and then also show up like that? I'm having
I know, she was gone once a month, and she would just like book out work. She always worked from home. There's an office, but she stayed home if she had the option. And she just, anytime she was home, she was there 100% of the time. And there would just be like 5 days in the middle where she wouldn't be there, but she would call every single morning, every single night, call throughout the day.
She really did sacrifice us until we were probably 20, like her own life, because she just poured so much into us. And now she's sort of in this mode of rediscovering what her life looks like without kids.
Which is probably almost kind of a little bit of a mind fuck.
Completely.
She bought 3 Cavapoos in replacement of all 3
Every
daughters.
time one moved out, she bought a new dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was like a cow.
No,
what do you call it?
She would love to get a cow. No,
It's
she
a
bought 3
Cavalier
dogs.
poodle.
Three different dogs. Okay,
3
so
different
each
dogs.
time you guys moved out, she got a dog.
Yeah.
Got
To
it.
birth them and take care of them like their own
I mean,
children.
that's actually pretty genius.
It is. She's obsessed with them.
Yeah.
She loves them as much as they love
How
us.
did you guys manage to stay so grounded around the celebrity culture of LA and Malibu? And I asked you this at dinner too. It's so interesting to me because you almost like would expect you guys to be a certain way,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you're not.
Right.
And it's like it's kind of like shocking the way you guys grew up.
I don't know if it was because we were nerdy growing
I
up.
was
and
just
so
gonna
we weren't,
say-
I really think what it was.
Truthfully,
we weren't
weren't invited.
What do you mean by?
Why wouldn't they
That's so
invite
true,
you?
Because we never went out.
I would have invited you.
No,
Thanks. No,
thank
no one
you.
thought
We
we were
never
cool.
went out. Honestly, we weren't ever mingling with the other celebrity kids. Like we honestly just stayed home, did homework.
It was honestly,
We were
I think,
boring.
staying home so much. I think
Yeah.
it was on the family forcing us to be together as a family with sisters. My mom every day would say, "This is your best friend, and that's it. If you
Yeah.
want to trust someone 100%, it's going to be your partner and your sister, and that's it." And I think growing up, I never felt like I needed to be in the crowd because I was so fulfilled otherwise. And so I do think that that was a big thing, is that when
we
these
were
kids are
never
growing
like,
up with things,
tempted to do the
Also,
drugs and the
but we were never
drinking and-
given so much things like the biggest, best diamond bracelets that these kids would be. We would come to school, we wear the same jeans, and kids would be like, "Oh, are you wearing the same jeans as last week?" In 9th grade. And it was just baffling. And I think that's the problem, is that they were noticing the wrong things. And we just were so oblivious. We just knew life was going to get better as we get older with friends and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's pretty cool that she instilled that you guys are all best friends.
Yeah.
Are you also best friends with your other sister?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just different dynamic. 'Cause
It's
she's 6 years
different.
apart from me.
What's the dynamics?
She's like the little Tasmanian devil.
Yeah,
It's always
she's-
the youngest one that causes the most trouble, but trouble in a way where she's not doing anything where we're like concerned about her. But she really is the contrarian. Like if we're all saying we're wearing white today, she'll purposely show up in black. Like she just likes
Yeah,
to be a
rebel.
little bit
Yeah,
different.
she's
She's
a
a
little rebel.
Gemini.
Yeah.
She's a little bit spunky, that one. She has a boyfriend.
I would say I'm more of the
Do we like the
mom to her.
boyfriend?
Love
her
the boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Actually, Sly loves the boyfriend. He
Ooh,
never
oh my
likes
God.
her boyfriends.
He's
which is
never
huge.
called any of our boyfriends before in the past, and he's calling him, asking for
Yeah.
advice.
What is
Crazy.
it like when your dad doesn't like the boyfriend? I feel bad for the boyfriend.
It's a daily reminder about what
Oh,
he doesn't
yeah.
like. He'll say one joke about him, and he'll be just like nagging
Sometimes,
it over
sometimes
and over.
he'll call me and be like, "Did you dump him yet?" And then I'll be
I
like,
mean,
no.
listen, in these guys' defenses, that's an intense potential father-in-law to.
100%.
Oh, it is.
That's not
Woo,
a.
that's
you know,
a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I
that's some
remember
pressure.
our favorite story is Sophia's first boyfriend from high school came over to meet the family for the first time. And he went up to shake Sly's hand, and my dad grabbed his hand, pulled him in, and said, "Next time, shake my hand like a man."
Oh, jeez.
And
I would
I wanted
lose
to
my
kill
I
him
was-
because I'm the
oh.
oldest. It was awful. And by the way, from then on out, every
Taylor's
single
out.
day, he would grab my dad's hand. He would grab my hand just to practice. I
Mhm.
mean, we're not together anymore, clearly.
Yeah, but I feel like a guy that's going to be with one of you and potentially enter the family, like it's almost like trial by fire. Like they kind of,
Yeah.
in order to get the respect of everybody in the family.
Yes.
I'm curious why he likes your younger sister's boyfriend so much and why he doesn't like
Nailed the handshake.
your other boyfriends. Is there a confidence
I think
situation?
it's a confidence
yeah,
thing.
it is honestly a confident
okay.
thing.
He's what, 21 years old, but he's more confident and more of a man than any guy I've ever
And
brought
you know what he
home.
does? He shows up and he has facts. He's really smart and
He's
he's not,
worldly.
yeah, and he also
Yeah.
helps out. Like he kind of satisfies all 5 of us in the family because I think we all require a different thing. Like my dad
lot.
wants someone to talk about sports and art. My mom wants someone that just like offers to help clean the dishes and is super sweet to the daughters. Sistine wants someone funny. I want someone that's deep, and Scarlett, who knows? But I feel like he's been able to tackle all 4 of us, 5 of us that we've
He's
all
nailing
just
it.
adopted him.
He's
into the
not
family.
afraid.
Do you know what would be a red flag for me if I was one of you guys?
Oh no.
If a guy took me on a date and your dad, mom come up and they pretend like they don't know
No,
who
we talked
it
about
is.
this at dinner, right? We
I know. I
said-
think we did talk about
We
We
that.
said-
actually bring them up more, and
Oh
that's
my
when it
God.
goes downhill.
I've had both, the pretending to not know.
I can't.
And
Is
then
it-
they're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
and
well,
then the
what was
other.
the thing you said? It's like either they pretend they don't know who he is, which is insane because like that's
I mean, you met me on Hinge, like, you know. Come on.
Or-
And
Come
also,
on.
you looked at me on Instagram. Don't
Exactly.
lie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Sistine is a pretty unique name. I think you can find that online.
Or they start
easily.
rattling off like movie facts and timelines.
Yes.
That's
Those
wild
are
too.
The worst.
What do you
the
mean
worst.
movie facts and
Well,
timelines?
they'll just go on and on. I went to dinner with one guy. So much potential. Such an idiot.
Yeah.
He the whole time didn't ask me one question, and then told me my dad's entire like underdog story as if I don't already know it. And I was like, yeah, I know. Yes, I know. And it was just
Painful.
But you know what it
painful.
is that we totally understand and respect people for loving him. Like we love the fact that people love him. And we love him. Like obviously he's given us the life that we've had. But you know, when we're trying to find a partner, especially as we get older, it's been just so hard to find someone that isn't intimidated of him, but also of us.
It's a weird thing because I mean, he's our dad, but to everyone else, he's an icon. He's their hero, whatever it is. So when someone brings up our dad on a date, it's just our dad. It's not like I'm asking like, what is your dad's a dentist? Tell me about that. Like it's never the same.
Mhm.
But we have to always remind ourselves that, okay, they're just
Yeah,
fan.
exactly. It's fine. Like
So what's the right move then?
The
Like,
right
what's the
move is to
balance?
just be normal.
it's
Yeah,
being
don't say
normal and
anything.
court
You can't
us.
say anything?
no. Well, no,
Yeah.
like if it comes up, we love talking about it.
But not on the
don't-
first date, I think. I think on the first
Yeah.
date, try. I mean, you can, if it comes up, have it be a natural reason for why it came up. Like, it's
Yeah.
just weird when they go, so, like, what's it like? Like that, then I feel like you're a fanboy over
Yeah.
him.
It's like a brief acknowledgement of like, hey, let's get this out of the
Yeah.
way and now get back to you.
I am so intrigued as an entrepreneur and a mother by the way that your mother raised you. I think that she was able to balance both really well. What tips have you guys picked up from not your dad, but her?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, my mom always said when she was raising us, the best advice you can give any parent is just to always be there. And that's all that kids need. It's just like time and energy and affection and love. And like that, I think really helped us grow up and helped us realize that there's going to be mean people in the world. I remember, how old's your daughter?
She's 4.
She's 4. So like by the time we were 8 or 9, we started to get bullied really bad. And I think just having that comfort of knowing that like she will always have your back was really helpful in terms of career-wise. She gives a lot of really good
Well, I think
career
it's always be
advice.
the first to show up, be the last to leave. But I think my mom's biggest thing was that everyone's here isn't working for you. Like everyone's a person. Be
Yeah.
always so humble, so kind. Like don't think that you're ever going to be better than anyone else. I think a lot of people in the industry have a hard time remembering like you came from somewhere, you are a person just like everybody else in this room.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we've ended up growing the way we did, was because we don't think we're better than
My
anybody
mom
else.
always said this to us, and I think it's hysterical because people
Yeah.
can't really wrap their head around it. She always says, "You're not special,"
That sounds like your mom.
and but she
Yeah.
goes, "You're not special." She
Mom
goes,
tells me every day.
right? But she goes, "But listen, you're special to me, your dad, your siblings, some of your friends, but to the world, you're not special. So do not act like you deserve more or entitled to more, can treat people any sort of way because everyone's an equal here."
I mean, I think that's very, very important advice. I will tell you, one of the biggest celebrities we'd ever have on this podcast was Michelle Pfeiffer. And the way she came on was so down to earth.
Yeah.
She was
Mhm.
alone. She wasn't wearing a ton of makeup.
Kind.
I love
Low
that.
key,
Treated everyone
kind,
well.
treated everyone well.
Exactly.
And then you get someone else who's nowhere near her level
Isn't that
of
funny?
fame. And it's like they show up with 15 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like the hair, the makeup, the PR, the publicist,
Mhm.
da-da-da-da-da. and there's like this air where they don't even acknowledge the producers. They don't say hello. And it's
Right.
just the juxtaposition of it is
Mhm.
just so wild.
Yeah.
They're trying to fulfill something that they lack. And I think the biggest thing was that my mom's like, be confident in yourself and your own life, but you don't have to feel like you need to act a certain way to make people believe that you are that. Like, just be that. If you're already satisfied with your family, your friends, yourself, your
Mhm.
career, you're not going to feel like you need to judge or treat anyone poorly.
What's the saying? They say the super wealthy, you don't even know they're wealthy. And then the ones who aren't as wealthy, they flaunt the most their wealth. It's sort of the same thing.
And
Yeah, you
they
know-
wear Navy.
Also,
And they were
And they were
Navy.
you never know how far people are going to go. Caitlyn Jenner, who at the time was Bruce Jenner,
Mhm.
when she told us the story on the show, she was telling the story about how she would check into the hotel
Mhm.
and there was a bellman that would help Bruce at the time every day or every time he was there, and would always treat the bellman nice and just, had a good rapport with the person. But that bellman turned into Bob Iger. So it's like you never know
Wow.
how far people go, and you think
don't.
that someone that is maybe quote unquote beneath you or help. Like
incredible.
so you never know. Like you just got to treat everybody well along
Isn't
the
it
way.
just easier to just be cool to everybody? I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna go out of your way, it's like it's giving insecure.
I don't get
and that's why
cool thing.
I know, and that's why when we used to get bullied growing up a lot as kids, we never honestly took it personally. We would when I say
why did people bully you?
We were okay because Sistine and I really weren't cool. But growing up, I was pretty much a loner. I was a nerd.
I was an uggo.
I was a big
I was not a
Sistine,
looker.
relax.
No, I was not a looker.
We were awkward. We definitely had an awkward phase. But we were just quirky, and so I would be hiding in the library.
Is a really nice
we would
way to
have
put
people
it.
literally walk up and leave the table. Sistine's had someone throw paint on her when because I don't remember what the reason.
Because I had new white jeans on.
Yeah.
Wait, are you sure it's not that people were jealous of the way you looked
It was
or
girls.
your
I
family?
I promise.
It was girls
I
and
was bullied
guys.
so bad to the point where the school was like, I actually want to suspend these kids, but the parents are too high of donors, so we think you should leave.
So that's
Are these
why,
people that are known, like celebrities?
Actually, ironically, yeah.
What are their names?
We'll tell you off
As you
camera.
tell us off camera.
What was sad was that I never grew up ever feeling horrible about myself, worse about myself. I took it personally because my mom always said, it's not the kids, it's the parents. And so she always reminded me when I got home, she goes, think about how hard it is probably in their own house that they have to be so mean to someone else outside of it. And I think growing up, that's why we did end up being the way we were, because we realized how important it is to keep such love and deepness within the home.
I don't know what I'm going to do if one of our kids gets bullied.
Oh, well, that's why Sly taught us how to fight.
Yeah.
He said when they hit, you hit harder.
Yeah. He
And
did
so
teach
I
us
was
how
like,
to punch
oh,
for that reason.
yeah.
So my mom
Nice.
said don't, but my dad said punch next time they do it. So
I'm going to say do it.
Yeah.
I think next time I actually always said I wish I did.
He honestly wouldn't even care if you
I'd
got
probably have to
suspended.
go beat up the person's father just to
Yeah.
be like,
That's-
listen, I
that's
can't,
true.
you know.
Sometimes the parents are even
I'm
as
probably
bad
going
as
to
the
jail.
kids. They're scary.
A girl punched me in the face in high school and I punched her right back and
Why?
knocked her on the ass. And she was 2 grades older than me. And guess what? No
That's
one ever
true.
fucked with me after that.
See, that's what you gotta
So
do.
don't
Sometimes
punch
you
me in the-
really gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
This is
keying
the
my
headline.
car. She was writing shit on my car.
You got your card key
there's-
too.
I did
have my
awful.
car key.
Really.
No,
Yeah.
I remember in college, someone was kind of bullying me. And it was the first time I ever really stood up for myself because I'm not confrontational at all. I remember I chewed this girl out and she never, ever came up to me disrespecting me. She actually said, I respect you.
I've said it on this show a few
Yeah.
times, and you know the headline will be "We're advocating violence here," which
I know.
I think you know people have lost the art of getting punched in the face. I think the reason people are so mouthy these days is because most people don't realize that that's a reality that can happen.
You know, I
Yeah,
couldn't
right.
agree more. And sometimes that is, as weird as it sounds, a quality that I look for in a partner. Someone that can take a hit.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like
Yeah.
you know, if you pop off the wrong way, someone's getting hit. You know?
Yeah.
Like, now you
What is
Yeah, I know, exactly.
the report card bullet points to date you guys? What are
Oh,
let's put it
gosh.
out there in the ether. I'm a person that likes to really put it out what you want and the universe gives it back to you.
Okay,
So what
I've
are the
done
things?
That, and I feel like my list has just not been working. I literally folded it. I
The
put it
reason
in
your
my-
list isn't working though is because you just said that.
Oh.
You just said my list is not working. Your brain's hearing that
Okay, but
subconsciously.
what about-
you need to say my list is working.
I did a
Yeah,
witch
see.
spell for you, and that
Yeah,
didn't
do a
work
witch
either.
spell.
She
I
did
did.
a
I
witch
already
spell.
tried.
That didn't work.
We did the 12
My
grapes
ex
under the
wasn't begging
table.
for me
Let's
back.
put it out here on the podcast because we have had guests that have come on that have gotten married from this podcast.
Okay,
and
great.
they have
Let's do
kids.
it.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do it. Sophia, go for it.
You want me
Okay,
to
so
go
put
first?
it
Yeah, you
out
go
there
first.
in the ether. Your list is working. The show
Okay.
is going to work. It's magic.
Someone that is. Am I talking physically or
Both.
okay?
Let it rip.
Someone that is taller than me,
Okay.
that is very ambitious and proud of their career, that feels very confident and fulfilled in themselves, that they just want to have me there to make their life even better.
Okay.
Someone that's kind and loyal and also conscientiousness. Like I would love someone that if I don't remember something, they would just do it for me. Like they just like, oh, huh, I want to get her coffee.
You might
in
need
the-
to be a lesbian with
Oh
that
no!
one.
That is so not Sophia.
Good luck finding that one, but
keep
know.
going.
Yeah.
See, am I choosing like the perfect person right now?
Go ahead. Keep
Wait, I thought this is my list. Am I
that
not
one-
watching?
you can
keep
do it.
going.
Okay.
Don't-
keep
don't
going.
interrupt
I'm
the
not
list
going to
line.
interrupt.
No, they don't exist, but go on.
Well,
babe.
someone that if they just bring coffee in the morning. I don't know.
It's been 10 years and you just
I
learned how to
bring
do
you
that
coffee.
yesterday.
I
Go
bring you
ahead.
coffee. I just
Okay,
required a little training.
Also, someone
That's
that's
funny.
I guess someone that's funny. They don't need to be the loudest person in the room, but I
Sense of humor.
need humor. But
Yeah.
it can be sharp humor. It can be like they look at something and they'll make fun of it. It doesn't have to be stand-up humor. It's just they're so funny and they're so smart. I think it's the intelligence I need.
Like
That's
witty. Quick.
Yeah, I
witty.
need someone that's so intelligent that they're very humorous about everything.
Well,
in
I
life.
always say, like, if someone's funny and can make a room laugh, they're actually the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to do, and a lot of people can't do that. I mean, I would say a few similarities. For me, I just want like a man.
Yeah.
I want like a real man. I feel like I've been dating a lot since I've lived here, and just the art of chasing does not exist anymore. The art of proper courting a woman does not exist anymore.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I just want to feel
like
desired.
a girl, feminine. I want to feel like the feminine energy, not the masculine energy.
And I'll tell you this. I want to feel like if he has me, his eyes aren't wandering, if there's something better. I want him to be like, whoa, you are it. That's fucking amazing. And that's it. I just want to, you know what I want? My type of guy, call me back. That's all I want.
No, wait, they call you back.
Okay,
Yeah,
so here's,
but come on.
I'm actually writing a book about a lot of the things that you just said. And the energy, I think, to give off, to get that, because it is rare, but
Yes.
it's out there, is you are lucky to be in my presence.
See, I'm too
Exactly.
humble. I'm like, no.
You have to give
you
that
have to give
energy
that.
off that they're
Yeah.
so lucky to be in your presence. And I still, we've known each other since we were 12, give off that energy. Like,
Well-
if you go away from me, like, you don't get access to this.
Yes.
You don't get access to this personality. You don't get access to these boobs. You don't get access to this
No,
witty,
it's
funny,
true.
charming personality. You go like you have to. I
Go
think
find it somewhere
you have to,
else.
because they
Yeah.
are lucky to be in your presence.
Well, I do think
True.
They
men
should be so
I
lucky.
know.
It's true.
And so
like the hunt, but I think we sometimes
Too much soy.
Lauren keeps saying there's too much soy, but people are getting
Do not drink soy
riled
milk
about
if you're
the
a
soy.
guy.
Yeah, there's a like a, it's interesting. I mean, we're not going to put anyone on blast, but we were talking about you in particular and a guy that you went on a few dates with.
Yes.
Gotta be careful here. And I was just like, you blew it, man. Like, but I think like, God, I think maybe, especially with you two in particular, people are like trying to kind of play it cool and not be too hungry and not be too thirsty.
I'll tell you
about
off air my assessment. It's
Yeah.
actually, I agree that that men need to hunt and women want to be hunted. And I'm not everyone's going to like that in this day and age, but I have not ever met a woman that I've talked to one-on-one that does not want to be hunted and desired.
Okay.
100%.
I said this on our podcast and we got a lot of hate for it, but I don't care because I believe it. You don't have to agree. I said men are born hunter-gatherers. They are literally the lion looking for prey. And if you're just the gazelle that walks into his mouth, he's not going to want it because he didn't have to work for it. He didn't have to try for it. There's no effort that he had to put in. And I want to be a sprinting gazelle. I don't want to walk
And this
right
is the
in
thing.
there.
I have to say that Sistine and I were very masculine in our career. So we're very much someone that loves to be go-getters. We love to plan things. We are the loudest usually in the room with our friends. We have the most jokes. We like to just hold an audience. But when it comes to a relationship, we want that to be taken away from us and have a guy be in control. And so I think that's been the hardest part is a lot of these guys that we go on dates with, they forget the balance and the dynamic and they kind of give it to us. And unfortunately, it's easy for us to take
Let me
it.
ask you guys this because my mom said that we're too much on dates. Like we talk too
I
much
thought you were
and we're
great.
too assertive. Thank you.
I thought you were great.
Thank you.
I will say that we three need to go for a drink one time because I really, really relate to you guys. I'm obviously older than you guys, but I am so masculine in my career.
Yeah.
But if you saw me at home, which a lot of people don't because I don't post it on social media all the time. I am a mother. I'm like in my soft, romantic. I like the house a certain way. Like I want to be sort of like a homemaker without the cooking.
If one more
That's how I am.
organizing bin shows up from Amazon, I'm going to lose my
soft.
shit.
And it's funny because yesterday Danielle Bernstein came on and she is super masculine in her career with We Wore What. And she said the same thing that you guys said. She said she wants to feel feminine by a man. And I think you guys are right and you nailed it, that the man thinks because you're so masculine in your career that you don't need the femininity.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, maybe as like the only guy in the room, I might say something.
I would love to hear from them.
I think it's a rare pool of men that are able to be confident around women as successful as the three of you, right? Because the dynamic, if you just think about historical dynamics, a lot of men are used to growing up in households where the man is the breadwinner and the woman is at home, and that's obviously changed and great that it has. But I think the dynamic of dating any of you is like if they are not maybe as far along as you are in your careers, like that, and also the family you have. I think it takes a very confident, self-assured guy to enter into that world and be okay with that situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
100%.
they don't exist, but it's rare. And I think the guys that I know in my life sometimes struggle with that dynamic as they start to be with women that have had the success you've had.
No, and I think the added layer of being a Stallone was another huge obstacle we've had to overcome, because it's not only that are we very passionate about our career and we have this very masculine energy in our work, they also are very intimidated by the lore of a Stallone. And I think also the fact that we have that as our backing, they go, oh, like, not only is she like known and her father's famous, so she also works a lot. And so it's been hard to find someone that doesn't take that into consideration, go, okay, I can't handle her because she's too much. Like, oh, I want to bring her into my life because it's so exciting.
And I'll tell you, the problem is right now, we're very happy being, I'm not going to say very happy.
But we are very satisfied being in our life right now. So
but the problem is people keep saying, you guys don't need a partner because you'll just marry each other.
Yeah, we're very codependent.
We've become so codependent and yet so independent in our own ways that we almost are struggling with the idea of letting someone in and kind of messing up the routine that we have been.
It's got to be the right person. You're not going to settle.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, if take away your parents, like pretend your parents don't exist, you guys are just as impressive without your parents alone. Like I think that, I'm sure guys make it an issue, but I think that that's what you guys should also lead with. You're just as impressive without it's not like you're sort of riding on their coattails. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I really appreciate it. This sounds...
Yeah, I wasn't even making a comment about the family as much as just you as two successful women.
Yeah.
A lot, being public, having like doing what you do. I think a lot of it's going to filter out a lot of guys that aren't confident enough to deal with women in your situation.
100%.
I think that if I were you guys right now, this is really weird, I would look for a guy that has a really strong, maybe entrepreneurial, go-getter mother.
Older.
That's a really good point.
Because then he's used to that kind of woman. You guys are used to seeing a dynamic where your mom was at home and there was this beautiful balance, but she was also super entrepreneurial. So that's very natural for you. But I think if you date someone, you got to find the guy who has had this strong mother figure that has done her own thing. And because then the guy is used to that. Because if you get a guy where maybe the mother was not as strong in her career, there might be a little bit of a pushback.
Yeah. I'm just going to say it bluntly. You can't date a guy that was babied by his mother his whole life.
We've been there, done that.
By the way, we did, they're friends. And I think that was probably the worst thing we decided to do, because
dating best friends. Yeah, that was pretty awful.
That was one bad thing, but they were very close. And this is not a bad thing, close with their mothers, but their moms basically still ran their life as an adult.
Well, I'm going to breastfeed my son until he's about 35. So
well, I think they're still breastfeeding their mothers. Yeah.
They didn't cut the umbilical cord?
No, it's still attached.
No.
I see it, yeah.
I think a lot of the influence on our relationship was through the mom.
Look at the mom.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, that's my hot take. What does a day in the life look like with you guys running your businesses? Tell us the behind the scenes.
Oh, interesting. So we normally start in the morning with editing our podcast. And if we're not shooting an episode later during the day, Sophia and I have like separate endeavors, and the ones that we have together. Right now we're creating something I can't say just yet, but we're creating something bigger than our podcast based off of our podcast. So we're doing a lot of pitches and work with that. On the side, I like to write horror movie scripts. So
what? That's cool.
I'm enjoying that. And then as a hobby, I like to sew. So then I'll sew at night.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So other than the podcast and what she explained, I just finished my first romance novel because I want to be an author. So I have my own book club.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I have my own book club, and I've been running it for 3 years.
I want to be in your book club.
Thank you. I read 3 or 4
good.
books a month so people can decide what they want to read. And then I've always wanted to be an actual author. And so I just signed with my first literary agent. So hopefully
congratulations.
Thanks. So what's really fun about this period of our life is not only are we getting to do all these really crazy, exciting things, so our podcast, the book, the script, but it's just the start of it. And we're always constantly thinking of new things to do. And we're constantly reinventing and changing it up. And I think that's why we're so happy where we're at in our life right now, is because this is the most fun part, is like developing it and building it and growing it.
It's funny because if you look at your dad, people would say, oh, he's a movie star. He's creative like you too.
Yeah.
He's super
It
cool.
he's a writer
makes
too.
sense
Yeah.
that you guys
Let me
are
give you your
doing what
dad's
you're
history.
doing.
I'll tell you right now.
Oh, God.
All right, here we go. How much time do we have?
Let me pull out
No,
my.
but that's interesting that you guys are doing that. It's very much, it makes sense. Like, I don't think people maybe see you, and you mentioned it earlier about he was looking at the directing. He's creative.
He really,
he's
everything
very-
in our house, even growing up, was just so artistic.
Yeah, and
everything was
it's
artistic.
for you guys to write makes total sense.
Yeah, it made sense. I mean, he always tells us being a writer is the worst job
it's
you can ever do,
actually-
because we would watch him sit in his office for 8 hours a day from like 2 to 9 a.m. or later
I mean,
or
we
earlier.
used to come home from school and then do our homework on the editing room floors.
Yeah.
Like that. So we were always around it.
Yeah.
But there is, again, like some added pressure of, okay, you're trying to do what your father did, but have it in a way that isn't judged based off of who your dad is. And that's kind of a tough thing to do. But I feel like finally we're earning some respect from people.
But it's different. Like, he doesn't write horror scripts. Like, Sistine's a huge horror movie fan. Like, that's why we work. We're yin and yang. I'm like a romance person. Like,
What's the best horror movie?
you
Well,
know,
that's
I don't know.
subjective. It depends. Like I like things that are realistic scary, like an
Okay, so
actual
do I.
murder.
Like Saw?
No.
Saw's cute.
Oh, cute.
No, cute's the wrong word. Saw's good, but see,
I think it's described that way.
no, after the 7th one, I was like, oh,
Okay.
we need something.
The one where they fell into the needles scared me more than anything's ever
Is that-
scared
That's
me.
why I'll never
Is
do
that Final
acupuncture.
Destination?
Oh,
No, I think like the floor open. and
There was
Yeah.
a floor
Oh,
that
so I don't
opened.
know.
I'll
I've
never
never
forget
seen
that.
it.
That was
they literally
scary.
fell into a vat of like used
Why do you guys
needles.
like this stuff? Like,
I don't
because
know.
I'll tell you why.
I don't like it.
I like to
It makes me
romanticize
feel
everything.
something.
No.
When I watch a
no.
comedy, I don't really laugh. When I watch a rom-com, I don't really feel anything.
Huh.
At
No.
least with horror, I'm like, ooh.
Well, that's different for me.
excited.
Like, that's her escapism. Mine is watching someone fall in love. I'm like, oh, life can be so beautiful.
So different.
Yeah.
What's
Taylor, how dare you
love-
charge into this interview?
I love the old ones. I mean, my dad, like, he grew up, he showed me Silence of the Lambs.
okay?
I know
Is that like a horror?
Yeah,
That's like
no,
more like
but I'll tell you,
like a
it's not
psychological,
scary, but cinematically, it's really good. And like, I love the simplicity of like a Blair Witch Project, where it took nothing to make, but you're terrified. I'm trying to think new horror.
You like your cortisol raised and then you like to sew. That's
Blair
very
Witch was
different.
scary when it
Very
came out because
Got it.
they marketed in a way. Remember, where like when we were younger, at least, not to date myself too much, they like didn't tell you that it was a movie. They like kind of almost acted like it really happened.
Yeah.
That was freaky when that came
That's
out.
what I love.
What's your
about it.
favorite romance novel?
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, lately I've been just obsessed with Pride and Prejudice, but one of my favorite romance movies that's so random, but we love Country Strong. Like, do you remember that one with Gwyneth Paltrow?
I've never seen it.
Oh, that one's a really good one. She sings country
Who is
music
it,
with
Garrett
Liam
Hedlund?
Neeson and
Gorgeous.
yeah.
And Tulsa King, gorgeous.
that one's really good. I love
Yeah.
also I'm a huge oldies fan. Like, I'll watch How to Catch a Thief. I love Singing in the Rain. I love I'm trying to think of the one I just watched recently. But yeah, I just like anything involving just simple romance.
Do you guys play tennis?
No, but
No.
I think we need to learn.
Okay.
We play golf.
You play golf.
Maybe
Okay.
you need to date a guy a little bit older, like an older soul.
By the way, everyone's always told me
Yeah,
I'm an old soul.
I
Everyone's told
know.
me to date older.
I think that
She
you
does.
need maybe
Yeah.
like a 37-year-old.
I would go as old as 45. Like, that's because I'm 28. I'm gonna be 29 next year, and so I don't mind. My parents are 22-year age gap, so we're pretty used to an older
Yeah, this
you
doesn't
know,
scare us.
guy around us. And this is not daddy issue thing, but I feel like I respect them more because they just have their life more figured out. And I think that with my mental maturity, even her, like, she should date a little bit older as well.
Yeah, there's no 27-year-old that's gonna give me what I need.
No, definitely
You're
not.
27. You guys have a mature energy.
Well,
Yeah, we
also, I was saying, Lauren and I, you guys are younger than us, but we were the kind of last generation to grow up without phones, smartphones.
Yeah.
We never even were on the dating apps. We missed that whole
So nice.
era.
Lucky you.
But I think like guys my age and older, same thing. And so
Yeah.
what you're describing is maybe a person that kind of thinks with a little bit more
Absolutely.
mature way.
because I
Yeah.
didn't start having Instagram until I was in 10th grade in high school. Like, that which was so cool, because that even then it took a couple more years for it to even become what it is today. So yeah, definitely someone that has been disconnected.
It's weird
to that.
because, as you're saying with the dating apps, you'll go on a great date with a guy, thinks it went fantastic. He's gonna go home that night, and just in case, he'll check Hinge or Raya if there's something better. And that's the problem.
the amount of
There's
times we've been
always,
with
my
guys
mom
and-
says this too. She's like, there's always gonna be someone younger, prettier, more his type, more blonde, whatever it is. And I'm like, damn.
But it's funny because most of my friends are now engaged or married, and some have kids.
Yeah.
And it's been very interesting. And also, I've questioned a lot, even just becoming older and working. And am I doing it wrong? Am I supposed to be at a certain place in my life? I'm constantly, like Sistine and I are always thinking, like, are we behind? But
yeah, I feel very behind.
I'm really happy that I've waited this long, and I'm willing to wait even more. I'm even like starting a little bit more of a fertility journey, just thinking about like that as an option, just because I don't ever want to sacrifice something that I find so important, which is like, I want to be like a homemaker. I want to have a family. I want to have kids, but I want to find the right person to do that with. So I'm like, I think turning 28 has been probably the most transformative year.
You have time. I don't even think I got married until I was 28.
But see,
you got married
and that's the problem.
And so
my
all my
mom
friends
found
are too.
it like around our age too. So we're like,
so it's been very, it's been very
yeah, but I didn't
different.
have kids until way later either.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing.
true.
It's like, I'm also willing to wait to have kids as well. And so that's why I'm like, do I start freezing? Like, do I start like looking into that? So it's been, because no one in my friend group is doing it. So
I like the idea of freezing your eggs as young as you possibly can because it gives you leverage and insurance.
Should I do it?
And what freezing your eggs really does is it gives you peace of mind.
Exactly. And I'm someone that I'm a very anxious, heady, overwhelmed person. And so I need to kind of have that security of going, I don't have to worry about this, because that is something that's super important. It's probably the most important thing to me is to make sure I have a family eventually. And so doing that and just having that insurance of, okay, I'm good. Even if I have it at 35, we're still good. Like, I got my eggs. They're 28 years old and they're cute. But yeah, no, it's been fun because Sistine and I definitely, even though we're 2 years apart, it's nice to have her alongside me because we are in different spaces.
We're single and struggling together, baby.
Yeah.
Danielle Bernstein said yesterday that she froze her eggs in New York City with Dr. Lucky.
Oh,
everyone's going to remember Dr. Lucky to freeze your eggs, right?
I can't believe that's a real name.
That Dr. Lucky. That's who I would want to freeze my eggs with.
It's so, by the way,
if I was in New York.
I've met a few people have done it, and it's not as daunting as people
so many
perceive.
girls
I think
are
there's
doing
such
it
a bad stigma behind it.
I don't think it's as daunting as people are making.
No,
I heard it's really not as. I think everyone thinks that your hormones are going to go crazy. You're going to gain a bunch of weight. Someone said it's almost like you just ate a big meal. And that's
like everyone reacts differently, but I think that
I
think the idea of like freezing your eggs, getting injections, it sounds scary, but I think if you think about the reward you get from it, like beauty is pain, like things, good things come to those who wait, and you have to put a little bit of effort in, and like if you want those eggs, that you have to put in a little bit of work, and so it's worth it for me. Like, I don't like needles either. I have a fear of them, so I'm still.
I feel like that I'm putting it out there that it'll be so easy for you to do it if you do it, and it'll be so great. Do you guys live together and work together? How's that?
What
do you guys fight about?
It's funny, but we really don't fight about work. We fight about everything else.
We never fight about work. That's the problem. I think Sophia and I really had to understand balance because we literally wake up at the same time. We work out at the same time. We eat at the same time.
We
have dinner together every night.
You guys are like twins.
Yeah.
No, everything. But so when we do fight, I think one of us is either just hangry or moody or on their period or hormonal. But what was the last thing we fought about? It was like,
I think I was overthinking something.
You were overthinking like a guy, maybe?
Yeah.
It was like so silly.
So you don't fight a lot.
We really don't fight a lot. It's mostly like we bicker. We have our tones sometimes. We can get a little bit sharp with each other.
But it's the type of fighting where we'll leave the room for 10 minutes, come back. Okay, what should we get for dinner? Like, it's done.
But I will say, so we've been living together for 4 years, I would say, or longer, like 5 years.
Yeah.
That is very weird when we're not
depressing.
living together. And we've always talked about, do we separate? But they were like, no, not yet.
She wants to leave me.
Maybe you just find husbands that are brothers.
That's what the plan is.
Oh my God, that's a terrible idea.
No, that's the best idea. We can go trips together.
This is what we've been manifesting.
Get houses next to each other.
We want to have best friends together.
Sometimes I hear Lauren give advice. We can't.
The Harvey brothers. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
What?
The Harvey brothers.
Why are you paying attention to the fucking Harvey brothers? Who's the Harvey brothers?
They're from the 60s. Google the book.
Good.
It's a book. It's like Nancy Drew. They're two detective brothers.
Good.
I was like,
oh, the Hardy Boys. Whatever.
I was like, how old are they? They sound nice. Are they alive?
Oh, let's not.
They're a cartoon character.
That's fun.
But the Hardy Boys would be perfect.
I don't think your dad wants you to come home and be like, I found the Harvey brothers.
Harvey brothers. It's like, oh God.
One thing about me is I like my bowl of meat. I eat a bowl of meat every single day, okay? I do not screw around with my bowl of meat. Good Ranchers sent me a bunch of their meat, and I have been enjoying it all different kinds of ways. Their Angus ground beef is so good with a little bit of raw cheese, some sauerkraut, even like a little habanero salsa. I add some sour cream, some creme fraiche. I mean, you can't go wrong. Anyway, As the election draws closer, it's not just our vote that shapes the future, it's the choices we make every day. So when you choose to buy your meat from Good Ranchers, you're supporting local ranchers. They all embody the value that makes our nation strong and enjoying good meals that are wholesome as they are delicious. So there's 4 different boxes you can choose from. You already know I got the ground beef, but they also have chicken breast, bacon, and salmon. So whichever protein you pick, Good Ranchers guarantees it's all American and all around delicious. There's no antibiotics, no hormones, no seed oils. Because it's local, you can trust the process. It's steakhouse quality and it saves you time and money. All the cuts are pre-trimmed, which makes it really easy for meal prep. I'm someone who likes things that are easy and efficient. And of course, we have a code for you. Don't miss out. Use our code SKINNY to claim the presidential promo worth up to $1,200 and bring 100% American meat to your family meals through 2028. GoodRanchers.com, American meat delivered. Honey. One of my favorite things to eat and to put on my skin is honey. And it's because it's an anti-inflammatory and an antimicrobial. I'm a big honey fan. I buy my honey from the farmer's market. It's delicious. And when it comes to my skincare, there is this product called Honey Halo Moisturizer. You want to nourish and plump your skin, and you want something with buckwheat honey, which is my favorite honey, from a family-operated bee farm in California, you have to check out this brand, Pharmacy. Pharmacy is a brand combining rich farm-grown ingredients with clinically proven results. Enter the honey. This is why I love the honey. It's pure, unfiltered honey that's harvested sustainably, and everything is designed to give you natural antioxidants that protect against causes of skin damage like UV and pollution. So it's called, like I said, the Honey Halo Moisturizer. It's absolutely amazing. It's actively rich, real ingredients. Everything feels so fresh. And honey is just really incredible for your skin. Not only is it an anti-inflammatory, it's also really great for wound healing. It lightens scars and treats sunburn. I will forever be a fan of honey. Drench your skin in honey hydration. Visit pharmacybeauty.com and use code SKINNY for 20% off your order. That's 20% off your order at FARMACYbeauty.com with code SKINNY. That's 20% off your order at FARMACYbeauty.com with code SKINNY.
Longtime listeners and viewers of this show know that Lauren and I are huge fans of Symbiotica, so much so that we have had the founders of Symbiotica on this show multiple times to discuss all of the amazing products and supplements they're creating over there at that company. What we love so much about Symbiotica is that so many supplements contain fillers or harmful ingredients, but Symbiotica's products are truly made with intention. They're formulated with the highest quality ingredients out there, no seed oils, preservatives, toxins, artificial additives, or natural flavors. They're absolutely transparent about how and where they source their ingredients. And what we also love is most of the products come in liposomal delivery, which means your body can absorb the nutrients much faster and more effectively than other traditional pills. You actually eat the supplements like food and you absorb them much better so because of it. I personally love Symbiotica's magnesium L-threonate and glutathione. I think their glutathione is one of the best antioxidants on the market. It's so important to incorporate into your body every single day. The magnesium L-threonate is one of the best supplements and best magnesium products that you can get. It helps you sleep better. It's going to help you feel better. It's going to help you manage moods. You can use it in your coffee. You can use it before bed. I use it in my coffee in the morning as like a creamer instead of using sugar or sweetener, and it's been an absolute game changer for me. Lauren's a huge fan of the magnesium spray, which she uses at night to help you sleep better. And they have so many other assortments of products, whether it's protein or products for gut health or metabolism boosting. They really have it all. I also think their vitamin D3K2 and their B12 is some of the best on the market. So check them out. Start your Symbiotica subscription today. You can save 15% off your order with our code SKINNY. Just go to symbiotica.com/theskinny and use code SKINNY on your subscription order. Again, that's symbiotica.com/theskinny.
Who's the most famous person that casually was in your home when you guys were young that like was nonchalant?
Oh my God.
There was a lot.
There was a few.
And
Yeah,
I didn't appreciate it because I also didn't understand why people liked them so much. Now I do.
Wait, what about, remember the Planet Hollywoods?
Oh my
God.
the
I mean,
era.
Didn't you guys have, I feel like
We've
all
had-
the,
Well, you know what it was? Because it's him, we had a lot of action stars. I think the coolest person that's ever like sat with us, it's iconic, is why am I forgetting his name? We always say Al Pacino was really cool at our house.
That's a good one.
That was a great
Every
one.
Saturday for 20 years growing up, the boys would have a fight night at our house. We'd order takeout. It would just be him, Arnold, Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. It would be sometimes like
Al
random
Pacino.
comedian. It would be like
Bill
Michael
Burr.
Strahan.
Like just one time Guy Fieri, I came downstairs at 10 in the morning. He was just in the kitchen. I was like, how did you get
Did
here?
you guys think it was a big deal, or was it just dad's friends?
No, now I was.
It was as I got older, I was like, this is insane. Like, this is not normal. I feel like we're in a simulation. But I think younger, we were really excited when we had James Marsden over one time. And that was like the Notebook era. We were really excited.
See, what my dad would do.
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, what my dad would do is he was casting. We'd say we had big crushes on people. So typically they would come over to the house and they would just discuss the role. And so we'd be like, wait, can you have Liam Hemsworth come over? And he's like, okay.
Did you ever want to hang out with those guys or no?
I was
14. Too young. They didn't take us serious.
You're
it was like, if you see us with our dad, you're just going to see us as like daughters. And so, but we were also like too young.
Yeah, he cock blocks us. We can't.
Yeah.
He's a cock block.
Everyone's going to be too afraid to make a move if he's next to them.
Mm-hmm.
What has it been like filming your show with your entire family?
Oh, that's been
so
weird.
wild.
And what's funny is hearing from my dad, he said shooting a reality show is harder than shooting an actual show.
He said it's the hardest job he's ever done.
Yeah.
Michael's speechless.
Clock it.
Well, is it because you have, is it
Maybe because it's his family. He cares so much about you guys.
It's insane hours.
It's hours.
So it's literally,
and
because we'd have to get ready. We'd get up at 5:30 because we'd only have one hair and one makeup person. So everyone had to rotate. So it'd be from like 6 a.m. until you're brushing your teeth at 8 p.m. It is all
because we'll
day,
think about
sometimes 7 days a week.
And when you're doing a reality show on just your family, it's all your storylines. Like if you have a Housewives, you have 5 different families you can follow. So when they came into our homes,
break it up a little bit.
Yeah. So when you came into our home, which we never have had cameras this much in our life, first off, that was very intimidating. And second of all, you're shooting 12-hour days. We shot for 8 months straight.
Yeah.
And it would be maybe you get a minute or 30 seconds because it's only 22-minute episodes. So that reason why you were saying it's a lot harder than shooting an actual show is because you have a script, you have time restraints, you have a scene and it's done, it's cut, and
you basically have no social life.
You have
for
no,
like 9 months.
you have no structure.
Do you guys like it?
I liked it because we got to be together a lot. So that was fun. Looking back, it's just a lot of time. Like we weren't able to focus on any of our other endeavors. So like since we've taken this mini break from filming, because we haven't had a family vacation in over 6 years. We've had 2 summers of straight working. So we're like, you know what, let's just take a break for a few months. And now we've actually enjoyed developing other things.
We actually loved the final product. So like after all the work, it was really, especially season 2, that was probably my favorite thing we ever shot. I mean, we met the Pope, which was like crazy to see.
I like it. It's just very hard to present an authentic self to people and give, producers what they want. Because when you think of reality, you think of a little bit chaos, drama, like you think of Osbournes and Kardashians, like they just let it all out there. There was nothing to hold back. For us, we're thinking like, okay, we want to be moms one day. So we're not going to do anything that's going to be detrimental later on. And so it was really hard to find that balance of giving people something that was entertaining enough to watch, but also still being ourselves.
Well, that's why we call it a docu-series. We call it less like a reality show. And I know it sounds stupid because everyone makes fun of that, but it's like an insight into our life.
Did you have to convince your parents to do the show, or did they have to convince you? Like, what was the talk behind this? Why did you guys decide to put yourself out there like
so
this?
I would say the people that wanted it the most was Sly and myself.
I can't how you call him Sly. That's so funny.
He's my contact.
Well, you
Sly.
actually call him Sly more than I do.
I just don't know why. I feel like because I talk so much
funny.
about him to people.
What if
dad is weird.
Zaza grows up and she's like, Mike really wanted to? It's so funny.
It's different though.
It's different. He's
Okay.
just like Sly.
He's Sly.
He's just Sly.
Yeah.
So him and I really wanted to do it, and we pushed everyone else. Scarlett, our youngest sister, was probably the hardest to convince because she's in college.
And she also is going to wear the other color when you guys are all wearing white.
Exactly. And she has the boyfriend that she didn't really want to show on camera, but they were pushing her to do that. And then it took you a little bit of persuading.
Yeah, but at first they came to Sistine and I because of our podcast.
Yeah.
And for years, they've been saying they wanted us to be on a reality show. For years. This has been like since I was in high school. And I think once we came around to us being older and the idea was presented in a very, convincing way, then we decided it was fine to do. But as long as we were able to promise each other it wouldn't break us up, we wouldn't do anything we didn't want to do, and it was going to be fun, then we would do it. I think
and has it hit all those things?
I think the fun part was probably not I think the things we shot within it were fun. I think the longevity was what made it difficult. But yeah, I think we hit all the spots because we never had a fight about the show, about anything we were shooting. we never broke up. Like there was nothing that happened within our family while we were shooting that was like really bad, especially season 2, I'd say.
Well, I think you guys are fortunate too because you guys kind of understand the industry. You're able to kind of go into it with open eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have a lot of people that we know that do those kind of things. They sometimes don't realize what they're signing up for. And in some cases it ends up very well, but in other cases, you know, not so well.
Yeah. It was one of those things where we could do it, it'd be great. If we didn't do it, also great. So we're like, you know what? We're all kind of free with our schedule right now. Let's just try it and see
we're in
what
media.
happens.
I mean, like this is the thing. We're like, why don't we just try another avenue? Like, why don't we just try?
I understand
and
that.
I think that people are like, why are they doing a reality show? Like he's this, he's, I mean, why not? Like some actors go from movies to TV. Some people go from football to commercials. Like
my dad said it was interesting because he said a lot of people typically do reality or do some sort of game show thing at the downfall of their career. And he's like, well, I feel like I'm at the height of my career. What is he, 78 or 79 now? And he's working now more than ever. He's like, wouldn't that be exciting to show people that? So I was like, okay, fair enough.
I think really it's cool. It. And people love peeking behind the curtain.
Yeah, yeah.
Your mom has beautiful skin, beautiful makeup tips. What are the beauty tips that you've learned from her, and what are your own beauty tips?
Oh my God, sunscreen was huge. Yeah. It's funny because she has her own skincare line. So I've been using her products since I was 12.
Pimp the favorite products out too.
So she has a glycolic cleanser. Her company is called Serious Skincare. You can get on her website. It's also on Amazon, I think. Yeah. So she has a glycolic cleanser that I love. She has a Drylo, which is a spot acne treatment, which is the same as Mario Badescu.
Yeah, his spot
but she was the first. She was before Proactive, so she did it all. She's the OG.
Yeah, she's the OG.
Yeah, that's why she's a boss.
Was she on QVC?
She was on HSN.
She was on HSN and then Evine, and now she does. I think they're still on.
I'm trying to think what else did she teach us?
Vitamin C a lot, but I think the biggest thing was just preventing getting in the sun. I think diet was a huge thing, drinking a lot of water.
Yeah.
My mom also though is just the most gorgeous human being. Like
honestly, she's
just it just freaks me out.
She's like an Icelandic princess.
I know.
Her genetics are ridiculous.
So honestly, genetics.
I don't want to say like drink water.
I know. I wish I had better stuff.
Literally, she's never been ugly. Like she's been perfect, and she still looks perfect, and it's confusing. And
I know
this maybe sounds messed up, but Sophia and I always say all of the good qualities that we have is from our mom, and everything we don't like about ourselves, like physically,
we don't look like your dad.
We're like, no. When someone says you look like your father, we're like, that is the meanest thing you could say. No, I know he's handsome. He's handsome.
Guys,
but my mom
look like they're like you don't want to be called like, oh, you look like your dad.
No, but Sly's a handsome guy. I'll give him that.
No, he's a handsome guy.
But Jennifer,
oh God,
chef's kiss.
She's got the high cheekbones.
She's got everything.
Got the green
eyes.
She
looks like a hot bloodhound.
I know.
Like a Doberman Pinscher. She's like a Doberman Pinscher.
Yeah, my dad calls her like what's it called? What's those dogs? The long hair. Afghans? Is that
Afghan?
Wait, your dad calls your mom a dog?
No, she's like a beautiful Afghan.
Okay,
it's probably a beautiful dog.
Yeah, beautiful dog. I mean, you don't want to say she's like a Rottweiler.
Well, I'll tell you this, my dad is the most funny person you'd ever meet in your life. He actually is the reason why I would say Sistine and I are very funny in a lot of ways. And
the sense of humor.
The humor is the biggest thing. It's because we were raised around it. Like he has such like offbeat humor, and that's why he calls my mom like a hot dog.
Well,
like
she's we're really honest. So there's pretty much nothing that anyone can say to us at this point that's going to phase us.
No, not at all.
It's like, you think you're hurting my feelings? My dad told me that last week, so nothing's hurting my feelings.
We shit on each other so much. I think that's another thing. Like we don't care about hurting each other's feelings. It's just like, get over it. It's funny.
Sounds like your mom a little bit.
It's good to have a little bit of resilience.
It's great.
You got to shoot the shit.
You had to prepare for me.
I mean, I think people have to like not take themselves too seriously.
That's
the
biggest thing.
You got to learn how to scrape your knee.
And I will say, I think that was a big thing about growing up was that we were all able to call each other out. If someone had a bad outfit, I would be like,
that's going to be another thing though. Like I tell, sometimes Lauren and I will banter. Again, we've known each other since we're 12 years old. So imagine like knowing someone that long, you're going to have a certain dynamic. And I will see people in the comments like getting offended for me or for her. And I'm like, you guys got to take a joke. You take yourself so seriously.
Exactly.
But if you date a guy that can't take a joke and you like to
they're so sensitive.
No.
You can't do that. You can't
Are
do
they
that.
that sensitive?
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of sensitive people out there.
Sensitive.
Very sensitive.
Beyond sensitive.
I know.
Like one time, the guy said, I love you. And granted, we're dating for a while. And I just said, love you too. And he's like, you didn't say, I love you. And I was like, oh my God, we're not having a fight about this right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you see what I mean? It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's intense.
It's tough out there, guys. It's real tough.
We did a whole thing yesterday. I think the dating apps and we had a woman that's involved in a dating app, so I think she had to be careful and grade and everything. But I just think that it creates a situation where people don't have to focus anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this endless like, okay, something got hard or something upset me or something got a little bit too deep for me or a little uncomfortable. So I'm going to swipe and go to
I'm going to go on Pornhub and beat my meat 3 times a day.
Well, porn's not so great either for people. Again, it's like, I think it all comes down to a focus thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the idea that there's another thing out there that's readily available. So people don't want to put in work.
I think dating apps have absolutely ruined dating. I haven't been on a dating app in like 4 years. I mean, even prior to that, I think we've lost the art of communication. I think we've lost the art of courting someone and also having the ability to approach someone because you just have a natural connection because you see them across the room and there's something about them.
Especially living in a city like New York. It's so condensed with so many people. Did you see that article that came out that New York City is rated the worst city to date in the country, with Los Angeles at number 2.
I am a believer though. If I read that, I would flip that. I would go into my day every day and I would say New York is the best city to date in. Everything's coming to me. I'm having all these guys lined up. They're lucky to be in my presence. You don't get sucked into the negativity and the frequency. This is taught to me by Louise Hay. I love her. I'll send you the link.
You're so right.
I'm like, you can't let those articles dictate. And also, I will say to your point, the frequency's off. I know this sounds really weird on dating apps.
It is off.
It's off.
Well,
the frequency's off. And I hate to say that because I know that's how a lot of people meet, but there's something that's
strange.
But I can tell you, I haven't had a dating app since forever. And I told myself I would be okay. And I think I've had more dates than most of my friends that are on dating apps because I've just accepted it and gone, I will find someone in public. I will find someone through a friend. It's going to work. So honestly, I've had that positive mentality. And you can ask Sistine, I find guys everywhere. Like,
but we need to throw away our world's smallest violin for ourselves. I mean, we play it all the time. Like,
I would just flip any narrative. Like, flip any narrative on it and just say that everything's happening for me. There's a line out the door. Everywhere I meet,
I think like even some of these like matching things that these apps do, like the woman that was here yesterday was saying like there's filters where you can like filter people's heights. And I'm like, think about like how much you're missing potentially by just putting these
from going from 5'10" to 6 foot. Like
also the shorter ones have the bigger.
And they're funnier. And they're funnier.
They've had to work a little harder, a little more elbow grease in there. They have bigger penises and bigger personalities. Honestly, and they are funnier.
There's nothing wrong with the shorty.
All you girls that are doing this over 6 foot, I'm telling you guys,
I don't need it.
Don't focus on height.
I agree. That used to be me.
I've dated tall. Ain't impressive. And the shorter ones are always like they almost had to work harder.
Yeah, it's actually true.
Honestly, I think physically just take your physical idea out of your brain. Like you really can't get so you can have the core values. I think it's important to have the morals like aligned in things that you genuinely want in someone's heart.
But having a type is like overrated.
It's so overrated.
Yeah.
Like I dated someone that was 6'7", so I think for a while.
And
so
is my theory right?
No,
don't put the guy on blast like
twice
that.
If I'm right.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
He was a good guy.
No, he was a good guy. That is like this is equivalent. He's nice.
No. He's a great person. He's a great person.
Lauren, if we ever break up and you describe me as he was a good guy,
it was a good
guy. Is the first descriptor?
No, I just,
you know what I just think of the dating app? We're not ordering a sandwich. This isn't like I want a side of lettuce with some pepperoncinis and a little bit of red onions. This idea that you can order up this person is so fucking wild to me. And I don't know if I'm just
so weird.
Not in the energy, but it's just like
it's not the problem that you can order up the person. It's the problem that you can then order up 5 other people after you've done the date. And you think, and not that you got all these matches. Like a lot of these salty guys got mad at me for saying this.
Lazy.
But it's this idea that like, okay, that one that I was pursuing, maybe they didn't text me quick enough, or there was something that I didn't like. It's like minor thing, and so now I'm going to jump to the next. It's just it's this constant thought that like something is better out there.
Yeah, and I think actually I do struggle with that a lot. I have this idea that things have to be perfect, and the sign of boo, I'm out if they mess up a little bit. And I've had this problem where I'm almost like fight or flight, I fly. And I think that it's because I've waited so long for the right person. I've had this idea that there is that perfect person.
I mean, she's literally looking for a meet cute in a coffee shop while she's reading her book.
But it's
like,
also,
it's not going to happen, babe.
Why? I think
it
could. See, negative. I could have that in a library.
It's not.
But I think
Barnes and Noble.
No, I've been
no
there
one hangs
many
out
times.
at Barnes and Noble here.
No one cool.
I would hang out at Barnes and Noble.
I'm always there.
We give the worst dating advice. We've been.
No, you don't actually. This is really helping. I'm not going to throw myself a pity party.
My advice, I'm going to go against the grain of this generation a little bit.
But
listen, Anna, Corinne, and I told this to Michael, beat the book up, put a couple bookmarks in it, go sit out at a cafe, maybe in Saint Tropez if you can, and by the yachts. Put on a short dress and let someone approach you. There's an energy that you give off to let people approach you. It's an open energy.
I do agree.
I'm sorry, this app thing is, it ain't it.
I will tell you, the times I'm like, I don't want to go out, I don't feel like doing it, it's always when I meet someone. It's always when I'm so against it. That's when the person comes up to me. And my mom actually said this to me because I had this period where I like was really attracting a lot of guys. Like a lot of them were coming up to me.
Okay,
and my mom said it's because when you walk out of the house, you give off this aura that you're like open to it. And because I'm such a hopeless romantic, I'm constantly envisioning a meet cute. Like I'm constantly envisioning someone's going to walk up to me and hopefully it's not like a scary guy, but I'm always envisioning it's going to be that person. And so I think that even if they aren't my person, I think you have to filter through all those guys and get comfortable with the idea of someone, courting you or trying for you. Like don't hate on someone for having the confidence to do it. I think honestly, it's kind of ballsy. It's nice that someone's like trying to say, hey, you're beautiful. Let me, take you out.
The hot 6'5" dude is going to be the most boring guy you'll ever waste a dinner with. It's just not worth it.
The tall guys are getting nailed this episode.
But I think,
listen,
I'll take it.
Yeah, but hold on. Tall guy. But
boring, you don't want boring.
No. Boring, my dad said, is the worst thing that anyone could have.
Yeah, that's he said.
What did Frank Sinatra say? You don't want to go on a date and have it be a staring contest?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But see, we fill the awkward silence.
Oh, we do. That's the thing. We always leave a date and Sistine will ask me and I'll ask her, did you have fun because he was fun or did you make it fun because you talked the whole time and asked questions? Ooh. And normally it is the latter.
I mean, how many times do you go on a date? Try to remember. But you go on a date and you feel like you killed it. You gave off the energy. You're doing all the things like, oh my God, I was sexy, but also respectful. And I was smart and witty and I was doing all the things. And you tried really hard and we go back and we're like, wait, did I even like him? Like, I don't actually think I liked him at all. And I think that's a question we're starting to ask ourselves because when you want something so bad, you start to force something. And we've caught ourselves forcing a lot.
I also think as an interviewer, and you kind of, and I do this all the time in my own personal life, you bring the interviewee or you bring the interview aspect to, I would think, the date.
We do that all the time.
And it ends up like and I do this even like I'll go out to dinner with my friends and I'm like, oh my God, I just interviewed them.
We say that all the time.
I've actually had a guy tell me that a few months ago on a date. I feel like I'm on an interview process.
So bad.
And I had no idea.
Yeah,
but
I think that would be my problem.
That's my problem. I'm just a curious person.
I'm like, what's your childhood like?
Yep.
I want to know.
Exactly. I'm like,
what attachment style are you?
I know.
You start interviewing.
Yeah.
We do ask some certain questions to see if we can get it. You can kind of tell someone by like how their relationship is with their mother. We'll ask that question. Like, are you close with your parents? We'll talk about like, when was the last time you were in a relationship? If they speak bad about their ex immediately, that's another red flag.
Yeah. If they say, I have a ton of female friends.
That's another red flag.
Which I didn't think was a red flag until I found out it wasn't.
Yeah.
A ton of female friends?
A ton of female
which, by the way,
friends.
I have a lot of guy friends, so I don't think it's a problem. But when they all look like OnlyFans models and they're flown in, I don't think they're your friends, bro.
The women are not going to like this. They're going to shit on me all over the internet.
Do it.
It's going to go. I have sisters, two younger sisters. And I told them when they start dating guys, I said, don't talk to any of your friends about these guys. Don't go and start sharing these ideas. Don't ask their advice. I watched my sisters and their friends. They would ask their advice and they would do with and their friends would sabotage the relationship and it would almost ruin the thing with the guy. So I watched this with women. Sometimes like, I don't know what it is. I don't think the greatest idea is listen, you could talk about certain things, but I think going to a large group of women to talk about your relationship, and I've said this on the show and I get shit all the time, is not a good idea.
I actually could not agree more. And my mom says this all the time if we're starting to talk to a new guy and we're excited and we want to tell of our friends. She goes, keep it to yourself because, you don't want to say too much and then they're going to ask questions. And especially if you're dating someone and all you do to your friends is tell them the bad things that this guy did, then they're going to hate him. And then the whole time it's going to be trying to make them like him again.
We talk about this all the time.
So you don't need to go.
Yeah, so we'll talk to each other about it. Even then, there's sometimes like, I'll talk too much about a guy. And Sistine's like, it's been 2 dates.
I told her yesterday, I was like, I can't hear this man's name again.
I'll ask too many questions. And I think that that's the problem. Is like when you speak about it too much, you're going to overthink it. And then you're going to self-sabotage or your friends or even your sister. Like you don't need to get everyone else's opinion. Like the only person that matters in the dynamic between the two of you is him and you.
I also think that if you want to be hunted, you have to let him hunt you. Meaning like pulling back a little bit, little absence. I love a little game.
I love a game.
I love a game.
Say your quote.
She never agrees with me. I say, if you're not playing the game, you're already losing.
You're losing.
I say that every single time.
I'm still playing a game.
I'm like, let them
all
play
the time. I go to the foot spa for 4 hours, and he's like, and then I'll go to the market, and I'll decline the call. I won't text back for a couple hours.
I said, let them play checkers, and you play chess. Like,
I still want to be hunted. I'm sorry. I want to be hunted until the day I'm rigor mortis. I don't care.
Listen, the gender dynamics now is like a whole hot button issue, but I do think at the core of it, as a man, I like to feel like I'm pursuing, and then at some moment I catch what I'm pursuing.
I love when I get a text that says, when are you coming home?
But
it's like, oh, you missed me.
And I think
and then I won't respond for an hour.
I think a woman... I think women want to feel desired too. Right?
Yes. There's nothing I feel better is when a guy's like, I miss you, or I love you, like, let's hang out today. And I don't say it, and they still say it after because they're still thinking of me. Like,
let him hunt you.
I'm sorry, even though it sounds childish, you cannot deny the fact it feels so good for someone to want you.
Many girlfriends going through the same thing with guys in their life that they're just dating right now, where they are trying too hard, wanting him to call too bad, so that the point where they just start spamming him.
No, you gotta be like a poodle.
Like, honestly, like leading him to say the thing like, oh, I want to date you. And then they do. And then the guy gets freaked out, and they're just not allowing any breathing room.
And every guy that I've ever dated, I've told I don't want to date you.
Should I start doing
that?
Yes.
That's kind of...
Have
you ever heard Pamela Anderson says you say to the guy, I would never marry you? I used to do it all the time. In 7th grade, I'd be like, I don't want to date you. And they'd be like,
oh my God.
That's the trick. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't. I had braces, okay? And they were like, Michael remembers. They were like yellow, clear braces.
Oh, man.
And I still was like, you're lucky to be in my presence, and I never am going to date you.
That's the mentality.
I'm going to be honest. You were fully developed. I wasn't looking at your fucking braces.
Okay. Honestly, lucky. That's amazing.
No, but that's mentality. Because you can have, like, I know people are thinking, oh, like, why do you want a guy just to chase you? But it's having that comment as a female to go, he's lucky to be chasing me. He's lucky that I'm even wanting to be with him. Like, so you can kind of balance the whole, like, femininity and masculinity by being like, I can be with myself. I can be with him. I can be with someone else.
I think what it comes down, like, you don't want to play too much. I think what it comes down to for everyone, guys, girls, whatever, any gender, people don't like to feel desperate energy from anyone.
Exactly.
People don't like to be around. I think it's like insecurity, desperate energy, neediness,
it's
clinginess.
A smell.
It's guys, girls.
With business, in friendships.
Yeah, it's not even just in relationships, in business. Like, you want a little bit of mystery, and you don't want to feel like this is somebody's only option. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the quote? 100%. If you can be easily had. What's that quote? If you can be easily had, it's not worth much.
Is that the quote?
I don't know what the quote is.
I read the book Why Men Love Bitches twice, and I thoroughly think it helped, and I think every woman should read it, especially if they're dating around our age. It's the games need to be played, essentially.
Yeah, a little game never hurt flea.
Just a tad, like.
Years ago, I suffered from migraines all the time. I suffered from a midday slump, feeling lethargic, just feeling like I didn't have enough energy. I couldn't quite figure out why. I also couldn't figure out why I kept getting a ton of headaches. That was until I discovered Element. Since I've discovered Element, it's absolutely changed my life. My headaches are minimized now. I don't have that midday slump. I have more energy. So for those that are unfamiliar with Element, what is Element? Element is a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix and sparkling electrolyte water born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. If you're somebody that's drinking water all day long and you feel like you're not getting hydrated, it's probably because you don't have the proper electrolyte ratio. Element helps anyone stay hydrated without the sugar and the dodgy ingredients found in popular electrolyte and sports drinks. And Element is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration. It's perfectly suited for athletes, folks who are fasting, or folks who are following keto, or folks that are just trying to live everyday life. What I love about them is they come in these individualized sticks that you can put in your pocket, in your bag, in your purse, whatever you're carrying, and you can add it to water any time of the day whenever you're feeling like you need that little hydration boost. Lauren and I both take it every single time we work out, anytime we know we're going to be sweating more, anytime we feel like we need to focus. Personally, I take half a stick every single morning when I wake up just to give me that hydration boost, and then half a stick at night before I go to bed. So check it out. Get your free Element sample pack with any purchase at drinkelement.com/skinny. Again, that's drinklmnt.com/skinny.
You know what I've been crunching on? Beef tallow chips. I no longer give my kids chips with almond flour in them because I've learned that almonds are sprayed with a lot of chemicals. So I decided I had to redo our chip situation. So enter Masa chips. They're low temp fried in beef tallow, which is essentially nature's multivitamin. Tallow has been such a player in my routine because I love, love, love to cook in it. I'll cook my eggs in it. It's just packed with vitamins, A, D, E, K, everything your body craves for a natural glow. And I think it's so genius that Masa uses beef tallow as the main ingredient for their chips. They also use a real Redmond sea salt. It's loaded with minerals. So basically, as you're crunching, you're getting all of these vitamins and minerals, which is amazing. So there's 5 different flavors and I really do like them all. I have them all in my in my pantry. My kids love them. Michael loves them. Even the team loves them. Everyone's crunching on a Masa chip. But the best, is the Cobanero. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's kind of spicy. It's so good when you crunch them up on a bowl of meat. So I'll take my bowl of meat and then I'll crunch up these chips on top. It's delicious. And the ingredients are really, really insane. I've never seen a chip made with these ingredients. Masa is offering 20% off your first order. Just visit masachips.com and use our code SKINNY at checkout. That's masachips.com and use code SKINNY for 20% off your first order.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your own terms. I could not be a bigger fan of Squarespace because Squarespace gives anyone the ability to build their dream business, their dream platform, all online on a platform that you control and that you're in charge of. Lauren and I have said for years on this show how important it is, whether you're creating any kind of content or business online, to own the platform. Many of us rely on third-party social platforms, and what we don't realize is we're constantly at the mercy of those algorithms. We actually don't own those platforms. Those third parties do. And Squarespace enables us to own our own gig. So whether you're trying to build a website or an e-com store, or you're trying to build a newsletter, or you're trying to build courses online, Squarespace can help you do all of it. They also have a ton of extensions which can help you connect to third-party tools, manage your email campaigns, and flexible website templates so that you can pick your dream design. So if you've been contemplating building your own brand, your own presence, your own e-com store, courses, whatever it may be online, now's the time to do it. Wait no longer. Squarespace makes it easy and affordable for anyone that has any desire to create anything online. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to www.squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/skinny.
Did we tell you guys that we were going to ask you what's in your bag?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You can go first if you want.
Sistine, you go first. What is in your bag?
Okay.
And you have to show the bag. You have to tell us what the bag is.
This bag is Ralph Lauren.
Cute.
Nice.
I got it because I went to one of their shows a few years ago.
Really
That was
cute.
Exciting. Yes. My phone case I got on Canal Street. Thank you. Some sunglasses. I don't know what the brand is.
Those are your lucky to be in my presence glasses.
Yeah, literally. Those are the.
It's VEHLA. Yeah, you're lucky to be my
Yeah.
friends. These are cool. I have my digital camera always.
Do you actually use it?
Yeah,
Like
all the
on my
time.
Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she said we're going to take some after
Also,
this.
you know what it is? Whenever I go out with people and you're with your girlfriends, no one ever wants to take a photo on their phone, but everyone wants to be on this. So
Oh.
it just kind of brings people together.
Okay.
My keys, pepper spray.
Oh, shit.
Did Sly tell you to do that?
Oh, yeah.
We're not allowed to leave
We're not
without
allowed to
it.
leave.
He actually will call us, say, show me that you have it. 'cause he
Actually,
won't
it's so
believe
funny.
us.
Dual pepper spray.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I used to have a little knife.
That's a good idea.
Why don't you
Pepper
have me
spray.
pepper spray? That's cute. Go on.
Yeah, okay, good.
A little knife.
And then makeup. So I have the Makeup Forever pressed powder, Refi clear gloss, another lip gloss, and Makeup Forever lip liner in the shade Anywhere Caffeine.
Love it.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, Sophia,
Me?
what's in your bag?
My little Prada bag. I love it. Okay. So first is my Kindle.
Ooh,
I'm
red.
always reading.
See, that's hot. If I was a guy,
I like a
carry
reader.
a Kindle.
I'm
That's
talking.
actually a good
I'm
move.
talking to a really cute guy right now.
That's hot.
Like really cute. And I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I read 3 to 4 books a month. He was like, that's so hot.
It
I was
is
like,
hot. It's hot.
thank you. I'm like,
That's a good one.
librarian.
Oh, my casual Kindle.
I know, literally. Oh, just my casual Kindle. Obviously the pepper spray. I'm a big perfume person. I think smell. Like if a guy smells really good, it's my biggest
So
turn on.
true.
And for me, I love right now Missing Person. It's
Okay.
like this. It's a musky kind of vanilla-y scent.
Sophia has the most insane nose ever.
Yeah,
I need a rec. Go to her.
I can smell your perfume and know what it is. I have my little gloss. I'm not as complex with like makeup. Oh, I'll never leave without a hairbrush.
Cute.
Barbie
Sophia and I
brush.
will actually.
I'll
'cause
tell
we
you
go
this.
out-
Everyone wants me to brush their
We
hair.
go
I
out
love
a
it.
lot together, so strategically she'll pack her bag with things that she knows I already have. So she'll have the hairbrush, the lip gloss, and
And
I'll
the
bring
perfume.
powder.
You
blush,
guys might
perfume.
need the Hardy Boys. What are they called again?
The Harvey boy. No,
Hardy-
not
Hardy-
Harvey.
the
No,
Hardy
Hardy. It
Boys.
was Hardy boys.
Hardy Boys. You guys might need brothers.
Seriously,
We love best
need
friends.
twins.
We've been saying our dream is to go on vacation with 2 guys that are best friends and we're
Yeah.
dating them and we would go to some tropical place. Like we haven't had a couples trip.
get a
ever.
house next to each other, build a tunnel.
What about actually
Yeah.
like a little separation?
No,
I'd
I
feel-
don't
you
think
out of
so.
your
By the way, it's
mind?
so funny. I teared up the other day with her because
Mhm.
we were saying, oh my, because we're every night we have this routine. We sit on the floor, we watch reality TV, and we eat our soup or
Sound a
eat our
little more
salad or
pathetic,
whatever it is.
Sophia.
No, but we have a routine after the like a long day. We like to like watch our shows and we eat our dinner.
What's the reality show that you're watching?
Oh, everything.
Everything.
We've watched every single
Housewives of
Housewife.
Salt
We've
Lake
watched
City.
every single Love is Blind,
Love
Island,
Island.
everything.
Okay.
There's not one reality show we've missed. But my point is that I was looking at her and I love this time with her. I started tearing up because we're like, we're not going to have this like in the next few years. Like we're not going to be able to sit here on this floor eating food in New York City as sisters working together. And it made me tear up because like I cannot literally imagine being honest, like sitting
Well, unless you
Here's
find
what
the
you
Hardy
guys
Boys,
should do.
then maybe
Unless
it's
we have
for the-
brothers that live like
You
the
guys
fourth row.
should get houses next to
We
each
say
other.
this.
We're going
Yeah,
to.
We're
just
gonna
get
build a
houses
tunnel
next-
underneath, and we say
a
it's gonna
little
be our girl
tunnel.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, just build it underneath, and you guys
Yeah.
can live next
And
to each other.
What
Yeah.
my mom and her sisters did is one of them got pregnant. She'd call and say, "I'm pregnant," and then they'd have a baby.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So all of our cousins are the same age.
And no,
So
Yeah.
we're gonna do. that
We're
too.
thick as thieves.
We're
Scarlett's the only one that's gonna be the
psychotic.
offbeat one.
We sound psychotic.
No, I
No.
think it's cute.
I love
We sound
it.
like a lot.
I think you guys
I
are
love
adorable. You guys can come back anytime, pimp out your podcast, everything. Tell us when your book's going to come out, your Instagram. Where can all the guys find you?
My Instagram is at Sistine Stallone, and Sophia's is at Sophia Stallone. Our podcast is called Unwaxed Podcast on
Every
every
Tuesday.
social platform every Tuesday.
Do
If
people
a-
like slide into the DMs? Is that what happens?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, we slide in as well.
Is that a creepy
I actually
move?
I make first
We
moves.
slide in.
Is that bad? Is that bad? I make first moves because they don't. so I just do it.
It's working for me.
Can we do like a subtle first move? Does it have to be a slide in the DM? Can we like a photo?
See, I just go
Well,
for it. I
no,
just literally
I'll
will
tell
say,
you
"What's
this.
your
I'll
number?"
tell you this. The only time
That's kind of hot though. I kind of like that. I like that.
It
I've only
works.
slid
Yeah,
in
that's
if they're
cute.
giving me incentive to. If they're like liking my
She's a little
photos and
more shy
watching my
with it.
like my stuff, and I know that they're kind of interested, then I'll be
Mhm.
like, hey.
See, Lauren, we don't even know anything. We have no idea of what's even like.
Oh, you guys, we have
But
But it's
lots
a rare.
of
But it's
tricks
a
and-
rarity for us to slide in. Like if-
Michael's
yeah.
For You page is watches and chihuahuas. So sorry,
That's
Michael.
adorable.
You guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you both.
I love you guys.